Hello everybody, this is Lindsay and Jackie's presentation on the year 1952. What happened in the year 1952, you may ask? No, it wasn't just the construction of the first U.S. nuclear submarine. In fact, it was the year that the American School Counseling Association, also known as ASCA, was formed. Now, something like this does not just pop out of nowhere. There has to be something leading up to it and a reasoning for creating such an impactful association. Let's take a look down memory lane. We're starting all the way back to the 1900s, which actually wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. In the 1900s, the earliest guidance began. This guidance was vocational guidance, and it was for secondary schools. This prepared students to go into the workplace and be active members in society. Since counselors were not really a thing at this time, you may be wondering, who gave the guidance to the students? Good question. The answer to that is teachers and administrators. But they're not qualified in this content, so that can't be good. And it's not really. People who are not professionally trained in this area can have more room for error, and the support is less effective. Also, there is no organization or structure. Now this can't be good, because no matter what you're doing, if there isn't organization and structure, then the plan is not likely to be successful. A similar concept applies here. Since the administrators and teachers are not organized or structured, they can't help the students to the best of their abilities, and it might not be helping them that much down the long run. Hopefully, as time goes on, people will learn how to do things better. Now, we're moving into the 1920s. There's a big shift happening here. Woohoo! Instead of focusing on just vocational guidance, schools thought it would be a good idea to focus on personal adjustment. In this case, personal adjustment means mental hygiene, psychometrics, and the child study movement. You're probably thinking, what the heck are those things? Let me explain. Mental hygiene is a science of maintaining mental health and preventing the development of psychosis, neurosis, or other mental disorders. Kristen Maddox from Southern New Hampshire University talks about psychometrics. She says it refers to the field of psychology devoted to testing, measurement, assessment, and other related activities. Lastly, the American Psychological Association talks about the child study movement. This was the first organized effort launched in the 19th century by G. Stanley Hall to apply scientific methods to the study of children. The movement focused on child welfare and, among other things, to help bring about the passage of laws governing child labor and compulsory education. Jumping over to the 1930s, during this time, the concept of guidance services emerged as part of pupil personnel services. Here, there was discussion about personnel responsibilities, duties performed, and training. At this point, there is another big shift. Go us! The administrators shifted their focus from vocational guidance to educational guidance. This is awesome because professionals can support their students in their academics to make sure that they are successful in the classroom as well. Now I'm going to pass it on to Jackie, who's going to tell us more about times leading up to 1952 and the importance in the creation of ASCA.
Thank you, Lindsay. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how counseling was expanded throughout the 40s and 50s. So during this time, there was mainly a focus on World War II because there needed to be extra support for those who were involved. There was grief support for children who lost a parent. There was support for individuals who were transitioning to a new way of life. And then the concentration kind of went back to counseling itself in the late 40s. So with the focus moving back, they were able to really improve how services were happening. And then the federal legislation in 1946 significantly increased school counseling training and the number of positions for school counseling. In 1946, there was also a George Barden Act that gave more money to vocational counselors, compensation training, and work experience programs. Okay, so now that all that history is out of the way, we can finally talk about the year 1952. And that was when the American School Counselor Association was founded. Alright, so talking about this year, it was a really important time for us counselors. The organization was developed to support school counselors' efforts to help students focus on academic, career, and social emotional development so they can achieve success in school. And we're still doing that today, to this very day. We want to help students prepare to lead fulfilling lives as responsible members of society. And this comes directly from their website. So founded in 1952, ASCA works to ensure it's meeting all of the needs of school counselors, regardless of setting, experience, level, or needs. ASCA's mission is to represent school counselors and promote professionalism and ethical practices. They empower school counselors with the knowledge, skills, linkages, and resources to promote student success in the school, the home, the community, and the world. So since its formation, ASCA has helped establish and unify identity for school counselors by developing a framework for data-informed school counseling programs and other tools to support the profession. And this is a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about in class, as you may recognize. So there's a ton of resources, including bi-monthly magazines, the online professional school counseling journal, etc. And then there's obviously the ASCA National Model and RAMP, and that's a framework for data-informed school counselors in their programs. And then there's School Counselor of the Year, which raises the profile and awareness of the profession. There's the professional standards from ASCA, which, include the basis for professional behavior through legal and ethical standards, professional competencies, student standards, and other foundational documents. And then ASCA does a lot of training and professional development themselves. They promote lifelong learning and continual growth through a wide range of professional development, including webinars, online courses, site-based trainings, their annual conference, and so clearly you can see how important the ASCA Foundation has been for us school counselors.
A trend we think is so important for counselors to advocate for in the future of the profession are ratios. Ratios play a big role in counselors and how they do their job. If there's a higher ratio, then the counselor's time is spread thinner and they cannot perform as well. The ASCA report of 2020 says that the ratio of counselors to students is higher than the ASCA's recommended ratio. The benefits to having manageable ratios are endless. Counselors are able to provide more direct services, have more in-depth and personalized counseling through classroom instruction and advising services. Indirect services, aka working on activities behind the scenes, and less duties that are not related to the profession, and many more.
Thank you for watching Lindsay and I's presentation. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And feel free to ask any questions if you are curious about anything.